Hi, I'm Michael Saz, the Parrot Wizard, and I've got my newborn baby boy Steven here with me to share with you some tips about being pregnant while having parrots, or expecting a newborn, preparing for the possibility of having a baby while you have parrots, and even just in general preparing for a long absence or time period where you might just not be quite yourself and know what to do with your parrots during that time. So with that said, let me present to you 6 tips on things that you can do to help with parrots while being pregnant, expecting a baby, and so forth. So my very first suggestion is, don't go getting a parrot or additional parrots when you're expecting. You see, being pregnant or having a baby or having a big change in your life is quite demanding, and getting a parrot, a pet bird, whether it's a baby parrot or an adult parrot, is quite a life-changing situation as well. And you may find that you have time early on during the pregnancy or during the mid-point of the pregnancy. There's certain points when you might really feel like you've got time for this, and you really have a strong desire to take care of someone, and getting a baby bird might seem like a great idea at the time. However, let me assure you from our experience, the time constraints and the things that are going on, it's like a roller coaster. There's periods in the pregnancy when things might be super busy, and then they ease up and a little bit easier. You start getting used to things, and then things change all over again. And that may not be the most suitable time for getting a baby parrot, or a new parrot for that matter. Furthermore, you need a lot of time early on with a new bird to learn that bird, for that bird to learn you, to develop a language communication and really develop a relationship and a bond. That first year with the bird is super critical, and being overwhelmed with the pregnancy or having that baby delivered will just prevent you from being able to have that one-on-one, very close, very personal interaction that first year that's so important. Furthermore, some people find having a bird while pregnant or having a baby to be so overwhelming that they end up giving up that bird, rehoming it, selling it, giving it away to someone. And that brings me to my second point, which is, if you already have parrots and you're expecting to have a baby, or you're already pregnant, keep the bird you have. Keep the birds you have. Don't go rehoming or giving them away just because you're expecting a baby. Now, if you are fully unable to take care of the bird anymore, if you're not even able to provide food and water, clean environment, if you're just so overwhelmed that it is impossible to take care of that pet, by all means, do the thing that's right, give that parrot a good home. But what I've found is that a lot of people get overwhelmed and cannot provide quality care to the level that they're used to. And that doesn't mean they're providing poor care to that animal. It just means that they are not giving as much out of cage time, not as exciting of a time as they have spoiled that bird to be used to receiving. And when that happens, people feel very guilty, and they feel that by moving the bird to a new home, that bird's going to get more attention, more time, and things like that. Well, 2 things. First of all, this pregnancy situation, or even having a baby in the baby's first few years, this is temporary. These parrots live for a very long time. And even though in this time, in this 9 months or this few years, you might be more busy than usual, spending less time with your pet than usual, guess what? Eventually there's daycare and preschool and school, and you may have plenty of time to have a great pet relationship with your bird all over again. They live so long that they can ride with your lifestyle just like you can with theirs. Hello, guy. Hey. So try your best to keep the birds you have, even if you've got to throttle back the interactions, even if you're not able to keep up with them. As long as you can meet their basic needs. I'll have a few more tips about how to get them to kind of coast and go on cruise control through your difficult times, and you can always rebond, rekindle later on. Now, for my third suggestion, the third tip that I have for you about being pregnant with parrots, particularly being pregnant, having a baby, is have that bird seen by an avian vet early on, for two reasons. One, you want to make sure the bird is healthy, that you're not going to be having a bird getting sick or running into issues and trouble while you're super busy having that baby. Get these things taken care of up front. Second of all, more importantly, you want to have that bird tested for any zoological diseases that can be passed to humans, namely and particularly psittacosis. Those can be quite dangerous and deadly to newborns and even to a pregnant mother. So do take care and have your bird tested and checked out for these things up front and not when it might be too late. Now, the fourth suggestion, the fourth tip about having parrots while pregnant be as smooth as possible is train your parrot or parrots up front. Don't wait until you're 8.5 months pregnant and you can't figure out how to get the bird back in the cage and it's trying to bite you and you're at wit's end. Train that bird before you're pregnant, best of all, or maybe in your earlier stages of pregnancy, or when you have some time on your hands to do some basic training with that bird. Teach that bird to step up, and some basic communications, some tricks, anything that'll help that bird be able to cooperate and communicate with you better. Teach that bird to come in and out of the cage using positive reinforcement, and your life will be so much easier when you are going through that more difficult time, either just dealing with a newborn, hey, you're right, or while in the middle of pregnancy, having an uncooperative bird that refuses to step up, refuses to come out of the cage, or bites you. Very difficult situation to deal with. You're already going to be stressed out and have a lot on your plate. It's very tempting to want to just give up on the bird and not see them anymore when you're already stressed and tense, and on top of that, they're misbehaving. Very important. Check out the Parrot Wizard's Guide to Well-Behaved Parrots and all the resources, videos, and tips on my website, parrotwizard.com, up front, when you have time. Even if you don't expect to be having a baby for years to come, now is the time to do the training. Now, when you're watching videos, when you're enthusiastic about your bird, when you want to do your best, get your birds trained up front, and it'll help you so much when challenging times come in your life, whether that's having a baby or going through a life crisis, having someone ill in the family, any kind of difficult situation, moving to a new home, whatever it may be. By having your parrots trained and good, well-behaved up front will help you go through those situations so much more. I promise you that. I've trained my birds years ago, and through all the difficult and interesting times that we've gone through in my life, whether it was moving to a new home, getting married, having a pregnant wife, or having a baby, having trained parrots that have a great relationship with me and know what to do, made going through those situations so much easier and so much more fun, both for me, my family, and for the birds as well. And now on to the fifth point. The fifth thing that you should do while expecting a baby with parrots is simplify their care as much as possible. For the birds, that is. You don't want to be making things any more difficult for yourself than you have to. Things are going to be stressful. You're going to be tired. There's going to be a lot going on in your life. And whatever you could do to simplify the care of the birds during that time is going to make it so much more realistic to be able to keep those birds as your pets and not feel the temptation to get rid of them, move them on, not have them anymore, or just be frustrated with them in your life. So lots and lots of things. Do your research, learn about better parrot care up front, but a few things that help with that are using efficient pre-cut cage papers so that you can easily clean those cages much more quickly. These are more expensive. Maybe when you're having normal times, you can find much cheaper ways to do it, newspapers and all that. But when you're going through a difficult period, you got a lot going on, pre-cut cage papers, expensive, but super easy. Likewise, simplify the diet. Yes, your bird might be used to having a 37 ingredient chop and all kinds of mixes that you make and fresh fruit and all kinds of fun stuff. And that's all great, and when times are normal and you have time to interact with your bird this way and cook for them and do all these fun things, that's excellent. However, if you're going through a tough time, if you're pregnant with parrots, simplify it as much as possible. Getting a commercially made pellet mix, even a seed mix, whatever you got to do, whatever's normally meant and made for parrots, it won't kill your bird to feed them inferior diet for a little bit of time. But if that makes their care easier for you and helps you be able to keep that bird and take care of them during that time, you could always move back to a better, more engaging diet when you come out of that situation. And keep in mind, the pregnancy will vary like a roller coaster month by month. Mariana definitely had months when she was not feeling well and things were difficult, and then things would get easy and good and she'd be enthusiastic and doing all the normal things again, and then things would get difficult again, and then they would get easier. A lot of things going on. So it's not like you're going to be doing things not the usual way the entire time. When you're not feeling well, or when the baby's getting you too busy and you can't give the parrots abundantly, great care, revert to basic normal care, make it easy on yourself, and go back to the more engaging, higher quality care when you have a breather and you are able to. Now that brings me to my sixth point. The sixth thing that you should definitely be doing when you are pregnant with parrots or going through a big life change is overload your parrot cage with great parrot toys. And not just any toys, you really want to be getting quality parrot toys that your parrot is going to be engaged with. Those are the toys that you put it in, and 2 to 4 weeks later, there is nothing left but shreds and splinters at the bottom of the cage that you're going to scoop out and get rid of and put a new toy back in its place. Now, normally I encourage people to get 8 to 12 toys in any parrot's cage at any given time. You want to go on the high side of that number, a dozen, 15 toys. Overload the bird's cage with lots and lots of activities. Keep that bird busy. Foraging toys are great. Your parrot will be more engaged. They'll have activities to do when you're not able to provide training and one-on-one attention. Lots of shreddable toys, chewable toys, toys the bird's going to destroy. Things like bells and plastic toys and, these shape toys and all of that, they're fun and they're okay in moderation, but really it's the chewing and destructive toys that you're going to need to overload your parrots on. Ideally, before being pregnant, before expecting a baby, before getting too busy, work on teaching your parrot to be good at playing with toys. Make sure that that parrot is a champion at playing with toys, so that when you have lots of time on your hands, you might play with the bird more and have a more engaging lifestyle for the bird. But then when things get busy, you'll be able to just load that parrot up with toys and let that parrot be engaged with a little bit more independent time when you are not able to provide as much entertainment as usual. So go ahead and head on over to parrotwizard.com and check out the selection of toys that I have on my website. These toys are really designed and very thoughtfully crafted and picked to keep your parrot as engaged and interested as possible. Err on the side of toys that are easier for your parrot than harder. Don't get a toy that your parrot is going to have a hard time chewing up. Find the toys that your parrot's going to chew up quickly. 1 week, 2 weeks, even a few days. Keep that parrot busy and engaged to make up for the time that you might not be able to spend as much of during the pregnancy or the more difficult times with your bird. Check out the free articles and videos at parrotwizard.com to help you better understand and learn about parrots, and best to help you prepare for life with parrots during good times, bad times, and the difficult times. Thank you very much for watching, and Stephen and I are very happy to share these engaging tips with you. I hope that this will help you be able to keep your parrots through pregnancy, not feel the need to move them on to a different home, understand things a little bit better, and be best prepared to give those that... And to help you be best prepared to keep your parrot engaged and continued part of your lifestyle and your home, and so that when that baby is out and delivered and the smoke clears and everything's moving on, you and your parrots and your wonderful family will all have each other to enjoy for a lifetime to come. I'm Michael Sazin, the Parrot Wizard. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. All right, Steven. You did such a good job on that video. You're such a rock star. Yay!